Guys, check out this blind spot check. How cool was that, eh? Welcome back to the latest video. Got some cool new stuff to show you. Some faults to show. I think we've got 3 on the serious side of things and just a couple of minors. We've also got the use of the 360 camera where we can show you some different points of view on that one. And now and again we can skip to the front wheel cam, as I'm calling it. And for the first time you'll be able to watch this whole video in any angle you want. I will link to that separate video. One thing that's pretty good about this exterior camera, it's good for checking distance from parked cars. Good distance. What's happening ahead? Fine. How's our distance? Fine. Works pretty well. What's happening at the back? Not much. How's our wheels on the way around here? Pretty good. Anyway, I digress. Let's jump in to the first fault. It's not far away from here. What we've got is a hold back position. Up ahead you're going to see a bus coming towards the learner and they make the right decision to hold back here. So car on the left, bus coming through, so they wait. Great. However, after this bus gets out the way, there's room to start making a bit of progress now. So there's plenty of space there, but they're hesitant, they should be getting a move on. A bit of a minor fault for just not being quick enough to get moving there. Now just round the corner, we'll speed things up a little bit here. The learner is asked to pull up on the left in a safe place. Here's where I reckon I would have went. Probably somewhere like this. But the learner sort of takes it a little bit further forward. They bring their signal in here. You can see there's a junction on the left. So we've got an early misleading signal there marked as a minor fault. Front wheel cam shows we get quite parallel, but there's a bit of space there. They could have went in just a little bit more. But the signal was the fault there. So it's a case of moving off. And for the next 5 minutes or so, and I'm going to speed this up so it won't take 5 minutes, it'll take seconds. But there was no faults on this part of the test route. So we'll just skip ahead to the next part. Now, the instruction is to pull up on the left behind, there's a red car parked up here, and the intentions were for us to do a parallel park. So, they come in, they do their stop on the left, again it's a bit wide, and then they try and sort of drag it in a little bit more, so they eventually get into about the width of a drain there. Still would have liked to have seen it in just a tad more, but no big deal. Now, they move off, they head up alongside the car, and they actually get a not bad starting position. Then, things go a little bit wrong. They told me afterwards that as they were starting this manoeuvre, they started doing their turns as they would for a reverse into a B, which would have been a bigger turn. So things went a little bit wrong for their position. You'll see some views around the car throughout this manoeuvre showing that they try and fix things, but unfortunately when they go forward they don't manage to get the wheels reset to a straight position, so they end up starting the reverse again with pretty much a maximum turn on, which is something I don't recommend. I've seen people doing it, they've been taught by other instructors to do it. I think it's a terrible idea. I suggest starting with a very small turn on. But on this occasion they tried to recover from that first fault, but unfortunately you'll see for yourself here they just get into a rather strange angle, and the road was clear. Their observations were quite good throughout this whole exercise. That's why I was happy to let them plod along and see if they can recover, because nobody else was being held up. But unfortunately you'll see in just a second that they find themselves in a situation where contact with the parked car here, that's what was going to happen if they kept going. So at this point I stepped in and I said, I think what we'll do is we'll call it a day on this manoeuvre, because they'd had long enough really, and unfortunately they didn't manage it, so serious fault picked up for that. The drive along this road, not for very long actually, and so quick check around the car and then they get moving. It's not very long before they're asked to carry out the next stop, which is just a normal stop on the left. So you're going to see that coming up in just a moment. Now it's quite normal to feel a bit of pressure and to feel a bit of stress if something's already went wrong. So on this manoeuvre, which was just seconds after the last attempt, this was meant to be a normal stop on the left. The position that they actually end up in is nowhere near the curb. They're out in the middle of the lane in a normal driving position, which you can't get away with. You can't pull up on the left and end up in the same place that you started with. So they've picked up another serious fault, unfortunately, there. Next part of the drive here, there's an oncoming car. They deal with this well, they hold back. There was some sort of movement going on. There was people getting in or out of this car, and they waited just the right time to see what was going on. Now you'll see me fast forward in the clip here. They went down towards train station roundabout. They dealt with that fine up the Neuro along Eastport Street. Now when we get there, they got the instruction to make their way on to Sinclair Gardens, the police station roundabout, and that is where a very important check was missed. Now this is something that's been marked from examiners as serious for not doing this check quite recently. It's never come up before. We talk about this on our instructor groups. So the thing to clarify here is when they get up and they get into position and they're asked to follow the signs, the lanes that they chose, the position within the lanes, all the decisions that they made were perfect. It was exactly the right lane to take. So you're going to see it here. The bend on this sign just says come round, A823 for Edinburgh. There's only one option and the learner correctly chooses that to be on the outside, on the right lane here. Now you'll see two right arrows, the middle and the right arrows. That lane on the left where this blue taxi is, they only have access to take the far left lane, which they do here. But as you're accessing this middle lane, you must check to your left. This learner didn't do that. Here's what it should have looked like with a little bit of magic in the software here. Check to the left, then take your lane. Now because, again, unfortunately that check was missed, it had to go down as another serious fault there. Seems a little bit harsh, but people do try and access that middle lane from where that blue car was, even though they're not meant to. And if they try to do that and you're not paying attention to them, it's going to get messy. So unfortunately you've got to just expect the unexpected, and please never forget that check, especially on that section of the roundabout. Guys, I hope that's been helpful, and drop us a comment. We will see you next time. Thank you.